We all tend to recognize those people who can be explosive in their communication. But what about the ones who tend to be manipulative, all with a smile on their face? Some of the hardest, difficult interactions to work through are those with someone who's being manipulative while also presenting themselves as kind. I've seen this in my own personal life. I've seen it also in workplace interactions on teams. I'll start off with a personal story for you. So last summer, we needed to have our deck replaced, and I'd called a few different contractors. Now, one of the contractors in particular was really trying to use fear, I think, to get me to sign a contract right away. So he would say things such as, listen, the market is swamped. There's no contractors who have any time. I'm really here to help you. I'm willing to take time out of my schedule, even though I'm so busy, to help you out because I know how desperately you need this done. And I'm willing to come over even though I don't have space, but it'll have to be today because if I don't come today, there's no way that I'll be able to fit it into my schedule at all until next year. And you don't want to wait until next year because that could be really dangerous if one of your kids were to fall through the hole. And so they created this whole elaborate story of fears and consequences that I hadn't even shared because I wasn't experiencing them. And I felt manipulated. I decided obviously not to work with that contractor. But I've seen these dynamics too in teams. Sometimes where there's one team member who really wants to have a little more control, a little more decision-making power than they have in their position. They want to influence their manager or up-manage to an extent that is really not within the power of their position. So they'll sometimes go behind the scenes speaking to other employees, trying to lobby and get them on the same team, on the same side as them in their perspective. They may make sure to have multiple meetings with the manager as big decisions are being made, particularly one-on-one meetings where their perspective is able to be heard specifically. But in those meetings, there'll be a lot of pressure or a lot of pushing for a certain perspective. Now, there's nothing wrong, of course, with having one-on-one meetings with your employees. But if you're having meetings where you're finding yourself feeling defensive as other people are really pushing a certain agenda, use that as a sign that maybe you need to step back from that interaction a little bit and reflect on what is coming up within you. Are you being sold messages that are scaring you? They're making you feel insecure? What is coming up within you that is leading you to perhaps be overly influenced by this one person? Take a step back. Take some time to figure out how you feel about the situation independent of everyone else, and only re-engage with people once you have a clearer vision of your perspective on the topic. That can help you to step out of some of these more manipulative interactions where you may find yourself making decisions that you don't fully agree with without even really realizing it.